I watched the Hazbin Hotel pilot, and as I understand it, it's made by independent artists who are funded on Patreon. So the fact that they managed to create this high quality cartoon is quite impressive. Now, unfortunately, I cannot show you actual footage from the cartoon due to copyright issues, so you're going to have to just watch the still images. However, what I found very interesting about this pilot is the new way, I guess, social justice influences art in the West, and most importantly in California, because this is a particular style that you're only going to find with American entertainment and American cartoons in general. Now, we're going to discuss what I think that is, but first and foremost, I want to point out that the art style is at least above that of Cal Arts, which is a good thing. I mean, Cal Arts already degraded the quality of animation in the West by years, and this is just pushing it back a little bit. I mean, at least in my opinion, it does look a lot better, even though that doesn't say much when we compare it to the art style of anime or even art style from DC Comics whenever they make a Justice League animation or something similar. But anyway, let's get on with the review. Here's my main problem with this type of art that's coming from the West. It's like Uncanny Valley. I just can't wrap my head around it, because on one hand, this looks like it's drawn for kids. If your mom would see you watching this when you were 7 and you were watching this on Cartoon Network, she would not think twice about it. She would be like, yeah, no, this is clearly a cartoon that is made for kids. The over-exaggerated facial expression, the voice acting, everything in it seems very childish. However, the last thing you want to do is to allow children to watch something like this, because the content is incredibly adult in nature. Here's what I mean.
And what can you do, my effeminate fellow?
I can suck your dick.
Ha! No.
See what I mean? The aesthetics looks like it's a cartoon for kids, but then the jokes and the content is made for adults. But the pacing is also like it's something made for kids with ADHD that can't focus on a story for more than 5 seconds. It reminds me of Thundercats in a way. I mean, let's look at Thundercats and then we can make the comparison. See what I mean? Like, things constantly happen. We can't just take a little break and focus on a character. No, like, just things have to be moving around and the character just pop out of nowhere. And that's pretty much the plot, at least for the first half. I mean, just look at it, okay? In the beginning, you get this guy, and I guess he's a new soul to hell. And he's like, oh my god, I'm alive. I can't believe I'm alive. And he gets run over by a car. That's a joke. And in the car, you have this guy, Angel Dust, and he's talking with the driver. So these are the first 2 characters that are being introduced to us. And then it's Kirov reporting. The Kirov starts attacking the city. And we're let know that this is something to do with turf wars. And inside the Kirov, we got this demon with these eggs. And, you know, like, just childish jokes and childish gags, and all of them curse all the time. Like, that's another thing that I noticed with progressive characters. They curse every 2 seconds. And he's attacking the city. And then this chica breaks in through the window and starts throwing bombs. And then an Angel Dust joins her. And meanwhile, we are introduced to 2 other characters who are making, again, just very childish jokes like this.
And I'd sure like to nail her hot spot.
Or should I say, no dirt.
Like, motherfucker, we're 5 minutes in, and the first minute was just a song, mind you, and the intro. And you are throwing characters left and right. You are lore dumping a truckload on me. I'm trying to understand the universe. I'm trying to get what's happening, but it's very difficult. Because the moment I get into something and I'm trying to understand it, boom, the action changes. A Kirov appears. Some people are engaging into the combat by death. And then the news happens. And there is like... And I noticed that this is the American lefty cartoon style, because you see it in other shows. I mean, they're trying to copy something. I just don't know what. Like, I don't know which is the first cartoon that did this, and I don't understand like why everyone thinks that they should copy it. It's very similar to Harley Quinn if you've watched it. It's exactly the same. Like, everything is so random. Everything just happens so fast, and the lore just gets dumped down your throat. And it's kind of sad that they choose this way of presentation, because there's a lot of things that are happening here, and some of them are actually interesting and good. Like, for example, the main character is the daughter of Lucifer and Lilith, and she is pretty much like a Disney princess. She sings this very interesting song, but at the same time, she's got these flashes where you can see that she's becoming insane. Because I get like, she's trying to be good, but they're trying to point out that she's still evil because, well, she's the daughter of Lucifer. And she's got an ambition. You know, she's like a Disney princess, and she wants to create a place for demons to find redemption. So it's a very interesting concept. It's like, can a person that is in hell manage to find redemption in order to go to heaven? And the reason that it's interesting is because apparently once every year, the angels, they descend into hell, and they do what is called a purge, and they just kill everyone there that they find. So the question would be like, okay, well, do these angels really want redeemed demons into heaven? Or, well, let's put it other way. Do demons want to go into a place where there are those types of angels? You know, like, it does create interesting questions. And I would love to get more into the lore of the show, but again, it's quite difficult. Now, one of the most interesting characters is the radio demon. Now, the radio demon actually talks with a radio voice.
Why does anyone do anything?
So I found it kind of hilarious. And the thing that really attracted me to this character is that he doesn't curse. Like, literally everyone else curses, but this character doesn't. So it makes him look more menacing than everyone else, just by the fact that he doesn't curse. However, the rest of the characters seemed very uninteresting to me. Well, I guess if they spent more time in developing the characters than to just show random action scenes and jump from one character to another nonstop, maybe I would get more invested. Because right now, all I know about the characters seems to be their sexuality. Again, this is a progressive cartoon, so sex plays a major, colossal, important role. I mean, they want you to know that the character is gay, and they want you to know that the character is bisexual, and they want you to know that the character is pansexual. It's almost like it's their core identity. You know, it's pretty much like, I guess, like nationalities for these people. Like, it used to be very important to point out, it's like, hey, this guy is a German, and this guy is French, and this guy is English. You know, like, back in the old movies, they would mention that. And now they do the same, but with sexualities. It's like, yeah, this person is trans, and this person is non-binary. But this person likes to suck cock. It's just like interesting to see the fascination that the writers have for sex, pretty much. Like, the cock and the pussy is like the mountain for these people. But anyway, other than that, I mean, I can't say that it's a bad cartoon. Okay, it's just a different style that I'm used to. And I just feel that it's for adults that never grew up as kids. Like, if a kid basically wanted to be edgy, but was raised in a very conservative household, and then grew up and was finally allowed to have freedom of creativity and did something, this is how it would look like. Yeah, I mean, comparing it to South Park or Beavis and Butthead, the things that I grew up with, I prefer those. Maybe it's because I'm subjective. I don't know. I just don't like this style. And you might say, well, you know, maybe you've just grown too old for this. And it's like, yeah, but I'm looking at the competition, which seems to be manga and anime. And anime is just a lot better than this. It's drawn a lot better, and it's got more interesting plot lines than this. And the pacing, the pacing is the worst, by the way. The jokes as well. I think I laughed once, maybe twice in this whole thing. And it's kind of hilarious because I'm watching Married with Children again. I'm watching the first season, and man, I'm laughing quite hard at that. But here I think it's because they try to make jokes that aren't politically incorrect. So they're very afraid not to offend the people that shouldn't be offended, because they are being offensive. Okay, I mean, if you're a religious person and you're watching this, you will be offended. But they're trying not to offend the protected classes, basically. So that they have to resort to just random humor, and that's pretty much what the entire show is, just random humor, like random jokes. So all in all, I feel that this is just lost potential, because the people who made this are definitely talented. The voice acting is spot on. The color palette is wonderful. The lore is very interesting, and I would like to know more. But the jokes, they don't land. The pacing is made for people with ADHD. So I'd only watch this if there was absolutely nothing else to watch. But again, like 2.3 million people seem to like it. So maybe they grew up with this type of cartoons. I mean, I've never watched Steven Universe. I don't know if this is similar to it. Or the mountain adventure guy with the sword. Like that one is also random as fuck. So maybe, you know, like people who grew up with that type of art would appreciate this. But yeah, let me know what you think though, and I'll see you guys in the comment section. Take care.